COVID-19 is an unparalleled health disaster that has jolted the whole planet, causing enormous threat and uncertainty. It has had a significant influence on economy, society, employees, and also the last one is organizations. Given the fast growth of the COVID-19 virus, several nations have undertaken many non-pharmaceutical measures such as social distance to slow its transmissions. Lockdowns have been implemented, individuals have been quarantined, school, universities, non-essential companies and also non-governmental organizations have been temporarily shuttered, travel has been limited, flights have been cancelled, and also the major public gatherings and social activities have been forbidden. Companies have begun reopening in the midst of this continuous epidemic under unusual regulations and a new functioning such as physical distance in the workplace with no one knowing when it will stop. Human resource professionals have traditionally played a vital role in guiding their firms through some of the most difficult workplace situations. The human resource department in every business in such area has been severely impacted by the COVID-19 epidemic.
Now I will talk about the issue and the problem of COVID-19 to human resource management. So the first issue is working condition. During the pandemic, several companies asked their workers to work from home. Face-to-face communication is being replaced by email and video meetings. Human resource managers have a new normal to aim for, which is to maintain their employees' productivity, motivation, engagement, and connection while they are still on the job. Human resource management must consider the reality that remote work might make employees feel more isolated. Family diversion and the pressure to fulfill multiple roles at home may cause mental strain. Next is performance management. Performance management is a way to get and keep better performance from employees, which make organization more effective. To retain the company's viability during COVID-19, staff must keep up their excellent performance. Lack of communication, family distraction, and job overburden might affect employee performance. Employee performance while working remotely also depends on supervisor knowledge with how to leading remote team. That's why some employers might not prefer that their employee work from home because they think it might affect their performance. The last issue is about safety and health management. Workplace safety and health is very important in a business and human resource. Companies that put a priority on worker safety see increased productivity, reduce turnover, and help employees to perform their duties more successfully and effectively. COVID-19 had also developed a new risk in a workplace. The first one is how to prevent employees' infection and control the spread of the virus. Secondly, how to educate employees about the need of following to the workplace safety measure. However, it must be kind of difficult because some of the employees might disobey self-isolation instruction.
Next, I would like to explain how the COVID-19 as external environment can affect the human resource planning. The first one is difficult in analyzing labor supply, in which identifying companies' current supply of human resource is the first stage. At this stage, human resource department need to analyze the organization's strength in terms of number of employees, their background, skill and talents, and performance level. The next point is challenging in forecasting labor demand, which an organization must describe its workforce future where the human resource department can take into account specific issues such as promotions, retrenchment, layoff, and others that can affect the company's future demand. This also can affect the balancing projected labor demand and supply, which is company labor supply in relation to future demand. Human resource need to develop a gap analysis. The development of gap analysis will raise some of concern, like whether people pick up new skills, whether the business need more managers, and how the employees may best utilize their ability. The last point on how COVID-19 affect the human resource planning is unemployment. According to the Department of the Statistics Malaysia, the unemployment rate increased from 3.3% at 2019 to 4.5% at 2020. or job loss and hours cut by employers as cost-cutting measures were seen in nearly all industries. This situation occurs where many workers, especially in the private sector, are forced to be laid off by their employers.
And I'll be explaining on what is the current trend or practice in relation to the issues in Malaysian context of profession. As we know, COVID-19 had left a huge impact in our life. From human resource management aspect, it actually had caused a big challenge for them. Among issues that they have to focus to work on are the working condition, performance management and safety and health management. They have to figure out the way for the organizations to keep on running without risking their employees' safety and health at the same time, which is why they came up with work from home practice. By doing so, the work can still be done even if the employees didn't come to the workplace. This working condition portrayed modern data technology as a vital partner to thrive and to ensure the survival of the business. This practice can be seen used by business industry, safety and health industry, educational industry, etc. So of course, this practice have its pros and cons. While maintaining the pros such as flexible working hours, save the cost, save the time for commuting and others, HRM also responsible to improve the cons of the practice. This is because they have to ensure that the employees can work comfortably from home without any interruption or problems such as internet connection problem.
Comparison and practice in other countries. The country that we are compared in America. The abrupt shutdown of many office and workplaces this spring heralded a new era of remote work for millions of employed Americans, and it may herald a substantial transformation in how a huge section of the workplace operates in the future. Workers who work from home all or most of the time today but rarely or never did before the pandemic and are in the same job they had before the pandemic have seen some clear benefit from the change to telework. The shift to remote work has been easy for many workers, were younger workers and parents more likely to have faced challenges. And the last one is teleworkers rely significantly on video conferencing services to communicate with workers, and there is no widespread Zoom fatigue.
Next, I will explain the factors that cause the effect in human resource planning. Among the factors that are difficult in analyzing labor supply as the effect of human resource planning is due to the profitability factor of the company, in which the company difficult to make decisions in planning human resource due to the uncertainty of the current situation, where it is a worse risk if there is a waste of cost and waste of human resource. Next, reason that make labor demand forecast so challenging, as Malaysia had to face COVID-19 pandemic because it is unprecedented global event. As we know that issue of COVID-19 transmission is a new thing which had to profound impact on every industry sectors. Furthermore, difficulty in balancing the projected labor demand and supply is due to the fact that the company has to minimize the cost. To get the quality workforce, human resource need to plan well, which is commensurate with the cost at which the company's ability to obtain the quality workforce can reduce the cost of training and skills. And the last one is the growing rate of unemployment is due to the company that can't afford overhead costs. This situation is where companies still have to pay salaries to the employee, whereas the state has ruled the MCO.
Next, suggestions of action that can be done or overcome to minimize the problem. So according to the impact of COVID-19 on employment in Malaysia, which is difficult in analyzing labor supply, there is one action that can be done by the organization to overcome it. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there were limitations in the company's operation and several employees were forced to leave the company due to the cost of paying employee wages. Action that can be done by the organization to minimize the problem is the organization can reduce employees' wages so that they can retain the employees. For example, the organization can reduce 10% of every worker's wages to help in reducing the cost of paying wages and salary. But in order to reduce wages, the organization needs to retain the employees. To implement that, the organization can cut working hours. This is because the longer the working period, the higher the salary. For example, the organization can cut working hours from 48 hours to 40 hours. Another example is instead of working 6 days a week, employees just have to work 5 days a week. In this way, the organization can not only reduce costs but retain existing employees. Next, according to the second impact of COVID-19 on employment in Malaysia, which is challenging in forecasting labor demand, one action can be done by the employee itself. The employee itself must have high personal skills. This is because every organization needs a worker or employee that has high personal skills to give profit and quality products for their organizations. For example, people who work as customer service agents, high-level interpersonal skills are necessary for customer service. Customers who may be irritated, confused, or outraged are often the focus of customer service employees' workdays. Additionally, if the individual has high personal skills, they might build their own business because of their ability. So, personal skills are very important for every employee. The third impact of COVID-19 on employment in Malaysia is troublesome in balancing projected labor demand with supply. One action that can be done by the organization is that the company should have two sets of projected labor demand. The first projected labor demand and supply is for the optimum number of required labor which is used when the company operates at full capacity and in usual working conditions. The second projected labor demand and supply is at low output. For example, the minimum productivity that must be achieved by the company to survive. They must have certain productivity and also manpower at a certain level. Lastly, the impact of COVID-19 on employment in Malaysia is unemployment. The jobless rate in Malaysia decreased to its lowest level since the COVID-19 pandemic in October. One of the actions that can government do to overcome this problem is by creating other job opportunities. Governments could think about adding foreign investors as partners, members, or stockholders. These outside investments may offer a variety of advantage. For example, the Apple factory made in Malaysia gives opportunities to Malaysian employees to have a job. Other than that, governments can provide self-employment schemes. The self-employment scheme will include training concerning their sector and after that provide funds for the individual to start their own business. For example, governments can provide culinary training for those who are talented in that field until they have high skills. Next, provide funds to them such as cooking utensils and ovens for them to start so that they can start their business.
In order to accomplish objective, employees and organizations are adapting to the new environment. In this context, internal communication should be prioritized in order to respond swiftly. Human resource management offers a substantial contribution by implementing online human resource procedures and educating employees not only in skills required for present positions but also in skills required for the future if circumstances change. On the other hand, businesses should invest in human resources since employees need to increase their skills and expertise in order to deal with uncertainty. The importance of structuring the employment assurance process was emphasized, which should take into consideration existing and future employee demand with a special emphasis on volatile environmental conditions. To summarize, the COVID-19 pandemic is a phenomenon that has disrupted the previously recognized and generally stable order in modern organizational administration. The visible impacts of the coronavirus outbreak have had a considerable impact on management approaches, especially human resource management.